Guys, welcome back. In this video we will see that how to read the data from the array list. In previous video we have seen that how to add the data, how to remove the data. Now we will see how to read the data. As I told already, there are two ways you can create the object of array list. One is you just write list, in angle bracket you specify the type. So let's say if I will specify the type long, so I can store only long, and then I'll write reference. So when you write like this, you need to import the list interface. So click on import java util, and then after this you write new, and then you need to create the object of the class. That's how it is, right? You cannot create the object of interface, which we have seen that in all our previous video. So here we can create the object of class, or just write array control and click on space bar, control space bar. Then there are multiple methods in the array list to create the object. So I'll go for the default one, okay, or I'll go for the initial capacity. This is also fine. Generally we prefer the default one, so go for a default one. Capacity I have already shown you in my previous video. So here you can store only long type of data. So you know that when you have long means you can store integer also, short also, byte also, which is perfectly fine, because long there is one catch here, guys. Now your whatever you learnt wrapper class will come to the picture here, okay. Your all learning will come to the picture here. Remember the wrapper class, what I said when I was talking about wrapper class, because whenever you try to store any data in the collection classes, it will take object, it will never take primitive data type. So here our collections will take long object, or this collections object will take long object, and you are trying to store what? Integer, right? So see here, there is a problem. It is saying that you cast this to the long. So what you can do for that, you have to write like this, long dot value of, because you need to differentiate between long and integer, okay. This will work fine. This will convert 20 to the long, okay. So here long does not mean that you can store anything, no. See, when you create a variable like this, long li is equal to, you can write 9. This is fine, no problem. Internally casting will happen, upcasting will happen, your integer will get upcasted to the long. This also I have covered when I was talking about the casting chapter, right? So here upcasting will happen, but here casting will not happen, because this guy will accept only object, right? So this guy will accept only object. So when the add method will accept only object, you have to intentionally convert to the long. This is one way, or you literally store the long data. The other way is you literally go and store the long data. Is this the size of long? No, this is integer. Keep on typing 0. Sorry. Write like this. Is the size is out? Yeah, it is of type int, is out of range, right? Then just write L. I cannot store like this. In the array list I cannot store like this, so I have to do like this, okay. Because you know that long also has the size range, so you have to do like this, long value, okay. There is no other way, right? This is one way. So here this is not primitive data type, so in long you cannot store integer, byte and short. You have to do that. So similarly, if you will make here byte, So here also your type should be byte, right? Now when you are going to store the data, it should be of type byte. Now this one will be treated as integer. So what you have to do, you have to convert this integer to the byte dot value of, right? Now you can understand why wrapper classes are very much important. Byte dot value of, oh, this is not byte, by the way, this is not the byte. So let me get the correct byte data. Okay, the problem is the byte has a range of -127 to 128. This is the byte range. Now the problem is this this data is also considered as a integer. So for byte you have to write intentionally b is equal to 126. So this is byte, right? Now I can write b here and it will work because intentionally I have changed to the byte. Okay, when you try to write byte b1 is equal to 129, this will give you compile time error because this is the out of range of the byte. So when you have byte data type, you have to intentionally write type byte and then do value of. Okay, it will work fine. Or the other way is you don't do byte here, you can write directly 120, which is the range of the byte, and type cast, right? The casting also I have told you, right? Explicit casting you do, you convert 120 to the byte, right? And you remember, you can recollect my conversion type which I spoke about. So I am converting 120 to the byte, so this is also fine. So that's how you can store different data type in the collections class object, and that's where the wrapper class importance come to the picture. Now I was talking about the read. So how do you read the data? What is the way you can read the data? So let me remove these things. This thing is not required here. I'll talk about the reading part. So there are ways you can read the data. So the one part is you can just do list dot get. So get has a method called index. Okay, you can do, let's say, get of 3, get of 3, get of 4, get of 5, get of 0. You can do like this. You can read based on the index. Okay, here also when index is not found here, if you'll do get of 8, here also you'll get array out of bond, index out of bond exceptions, because this index is not found here. Same exceptions will come here also, but you can read like this. You can do get of 1, 2, 3, 4 and you can read the data from the array list. Now if the array list is very big, right? If the array list is very big and you want to read all the data, so doing get of 1, get of 2, get of 3 is very expensive, right? And you don't know till how long you have to read. You don't know, right? Let's say since this list is visible to you, assume that the case where this list is getting populated by third party, you don't have control, right? So in that case, on this list reference, there is a method called dot size method. This is very good method. The size method will give you the size of the array list, like how many data you have in the array list. What is the size? You have 8 data, 10 data, 20 data. This will give you the size. Or you have 1 billion data, or you have 10,000 data. So when you call on this reference, when you call the size method, it will give you the size of the list. So when you have the size, what you can do, you can run a for loop, right? You can run a for loop for control space bar. Just do for control space bar and click the first one. You can see that iterate over array. You can see that that's how it is getting default generated. Click on this. When you click on that, automatic one for loop will get generated. And here what you do, you start from the 0 and you do I less than list dot size. So this I have already covered, guys. This all loop control and everything I have covered in very beginning. Okay, if you have any doubt, go and watch my previous video. So here you can do like this, and then I can just print for you. You can, instead of get, right, get what it will take index, so you can do I. I is nothing but 0. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So it will be less than. Why less than? Why not less than equal to? The problem with less than equal to is you are starting from the 0 and size start from the 1. So if you print the size will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So size will be 5. Size will be 5. Whereas when you do get, right, it will start from the 0. So you should do get only till 4. So you should do get only till 4 index, right? So you have to always do less. You cannot do equal to, because you are starting from the 0, so it should be always less. Means it should read only till 4. Okay, that is the reason less. Okay, don't do less than equal to. You will get here index out of bound exceptions, right? So that's how you can read the data. In next video we will see that what is the other way to read the data apart from for loop, right? And is there like other way, like I don't want to call the size method also, I don't want to call size method, still I want to read the data. Do we have other way? We will see that going forward. Thank you guys, thank you for watching this.